Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Star Wars Bounty Hunter on Steam. So, I had played this originally when it was out on, the GameCube. I'd rented it from ye old place of Hollywood Video. Yes, old dusty motherfucker that I am. However, I never beaten it. That's mainly because, strategy guides at that time really weren't on the internet. Or if they were, I wasn't able to really find what was kind of going on for it. And I pretty much, I think, got stuck on the prison kind of level. We're really going to get kind of into that with what kind of goes on. But this is the re-release, remaster kind of it. And I had fun with it. Now, there's still problems with it, but I think it's pretty fun to actually play as a bounty hunter. In this case, Jango Fett, kind of exploring how he got hooked up with Count Dooku and got into the whole kind of cloning whole kind of thing. Also, how he got hooked up with Zam, as we see before Episode 2. And it's really different because, how would I put this? Its leveling design is kind of working around the same kind of thing as Doom, where you are given kind of a puzzle and you mainly have to kill your way out of things. And you kind of get more kind of weaponry and tools to use throughout the game, going from blasters, getting the jetpack, missiles, flamethrower. Also, you get certain kind of secondary objectives and everything, but I would say don't be a kind of achievement hunter on this, depending upon what kind of system you do, because there are aspects that kind of fuck it up. So let's kind of get into the story first, and then we'll get into certain kind of gameplay things. So this is 10 years before Attack of the Clones, and Sidious is pretty much tasked Dooku to kind of fix this kind of thing. There's a former pupil turned Dark Jedi leader of this Bando Gora crime syndicate, Kamari Vosa. And Sidious also wants a kind of template for his clone army. So Dooku's alright, two birds, one stone. And he decides to put this bounty out on Vosa. This, of course, linking up with Jango and this other kind of Mandalorian, Montrose. Let me see. Montrose? Yeah. And the thing is, this was before Lucas sold the franchise off. So most of this stuff is pretty much not canon at this point. Mandalorians have been vastly retooled. But him and Montrose had kind of beef because they were all under this Mandalorian Jaster. And Jango is the kind of favored son, and you actually get a comic in this as you beat stuff and see that whole kind of thing work out, and you're able to read it and all that. It's that's kind of cool, so look out for that. So it pretty much goes within this kind of thing and links up to the level design of Jango having to go through and get all this kind of information to get to Vosa. And it's more kind of alright, we want kind of a prison kind of one. We want this kind of level. And that's kind of how it kind of works out. We want to do Coruscant and all that. So he just kind of jumps around pretty much getting information. The Prison Break one is definitely kind of gnarly. Mainly because the corridors are very similar and you can get turned around and kind of fucked up by the camera. There are technical issues on this. Not on the thing that my PC crashed or whatnot. But there's a portion where you're working with Zam and you're trying to kind of go through, and if she needs to open these doors, or at least her character is the one that kind of initiates the door to kind of open, get in front of her. Otherwise, she can get stuck in the door and you have to reload the goddamn fucking level to get through it. And then there's also the secondary objectives of capturing bounties. This is for a non-lethal kind of run. There are certain kind of instances where the AI enemy characters will kill themselves. So please, don't do anything with that kind of frustration. It's not about the difficulty of it. It's the difficulty of this motherfucker could walk off a goddamn ledge that it's pathing on and kill itself, and you have to restart the level again to do it. Please save yourself the frustration. It's just stupid secondary objectives. And then there's one where you have to kill all these enemies without killing any civilians, and also attempting to try and like get onto any kind of bounties. It's just how you interact with those systems that kind of create problems. Otherwise, after when I was like said, fuck that shit, I'm just gonna be Django Fett banging around. That I'm like, oh, cool. So I was able to kind of get through the levels and utilizing pretty much walkthroughs. Just if you get kind of stymied, don't have a problem kind of looking it up, because some of the level they kind of design, you're like, I've seen this place before. What the fuck's kind of going on here? Where am I supposed to go? It's not not adequately like telegraphed in those kind of instances. Now I don't need a giant sign saying, "Right here, jump, motherfucker." But it's better an instance when you're like, I can't see any kind of place around here to actually go. What the fuck? There is a difference between being too handholdy and I have no idea where to go or what to do at this point. It falls within that kind of realm, but sometimes goes more towards the I have no idea where the fuck I am or where to go here kind of shit. So be careful with that. But I think they give you a decent thing of like being Jango Fett. I mean, you shake down a senator and pretty much throw his ass off a thing. That's another thing. The boss battles are pretty much subpar. I mean, you could probably utilize some of his other kind of effects. It's just, in most kind of instances, I would just utilize blasters, lock on, and just shoot shit. Now, it's sometimes a little bit difficult because you've got ads that you kind of have to deal with in certain kind of instances. Don't be afraid to utilize your continues. You usually only get 5 continues per level that I experienced, but I don't know if there's other ways to kind of like pump them up or whatnot. But you could just lock on and blast them. Even the Jedi one at the end when you were fighting Vossa, you can just, you have to time it. She can hit those shit back at you and kill your ass. Happened to me. But you just wait for that, and then you're just like, I'm the pew pew man. And she's just like charging at you, and you're like, pew 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 pew. And then she's like, I will deflect. And then you just wait, and you're like, alright. Do. Okay. Yeah, that's not really strategy. It's more just a war of attrition where you just make sure that you don't get hit or like get your ass pushed in health wise and just jump around with your jetpack. Which it was kind of strange, by the way, utilizing mouse and keyboard on that. It just isn't really built for it. But yeah, you see him kind of going through the story stuff behind it's pretty interesting. You see Django get his vessel Slave 1. It's really interesting seeing kind of the stuff that he story-wise goes through. Getting hooked up with Zam and being like, stop being an annoying asshole, and just be like, I gotta deal with this, but I don't want to kill your ass yet, but I'm getting close to killing your ass because you're annoying me. Having to break a dude out of prison to talk to another dude, utilizing the bounty that dude had on that prison dude to pretty much get an audience is pretty interesting. Then, of course, also having to fight, like helping out Jabba with this other kind of hut. I mean, you fight a crate dragon, but there's other interesting Star Wars games where you fight a crate dragon, like Dark Forces 2. Good God. I hope they redo that one, because that was one of, like, a pivotal ones that I played on PC. And, man, we had issues trying to, like, deal with the crate dragons, and that fucking dude that was floating around as an asshole, as your Kyle Katarn dealing with shit. That was another kind of family game. Family game in that we played it together. GTA Vice City. Because I started GTA on PC. So it was interesting to shift from GameCube to this one here for it. But most of all, it's mainly technical stuff within the game rather than it crashing or like doing weird shit with my computer. I mainly had to deal with AI just being a bag of dicks, and then I'm like, fuck this shit. I don't care that much about achievements and anything like that. Fuck it. So I said, fuck that shit and fuck the secrets, unless secrets kind of like got me into certain kind of things. Also, be careful with the Bandagora. We see that Voss was pretty much utilizing Death Sticks to pretty much make an army of just like controlled assholes. Your best bet would be utilizing the flamethrower in those instances because they mob you like a bunch of zombie assholes. And one of the things that can kind of fuck you up is that you can utilize the jump pack to kind of escape a little bit. However, the jetpack and the flamethrower uses the same fuel. So, say you're attempting to like flame some motherfucker, you're like, you only have a certain amount of fuel left after that, depending upon how long you've held down the flame button to escape on your jetpack. And the thing is, you're trying to escape with your jetpack when there's Bandagora are coming at your ass, and then you're kind of on top of them, but then you run out of fuel, and then you fall down, and they smack the fucking shit out of you. You're like, I'm dead! Fuck this shit! Arrgh! So be careful with those motherfuckers, especially on any kind of level where you've got like water that kind of fucks your shit up. Let's see. And it's interesting because they got the same actors doing the voices here, which is very rare for any kind of tie-in kind of game. I still kind of consider this kind of a movie kind of tie-in, even though it kind of fleshes out stuff before. It even has outtakes within the extras where the actors do outtakes and shit. I think that's more kind of tied to completing levels and everything, so just keep an eye on those things. Let's see. That Tatooine. Montross pretty much takes out Rosada, who's pretty much been Django's guide, pretty much being like, ooh, you got beat by a woman. It's like, oh my god. It's like, ooh, maybe you should fucking hook up with her. It's like, what are you doing back there, lady? I mean, sure, you've got this fucking kind of thing going on here, but what the fuck, man? And then just pretty much linking up with Dooku, getting the unmodified clone being Boba Fett. But yeah, it's definitely a fun game, but they're definitely the gameplay, game design choices of that era, so be careful with that. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's good, and just because it's old doesn't mean it's bad. The same kind of issues I had playing with it back then are still present now, but I was able to finally beat it, and I'm like, I had fun with this, because there's not a lot of Star Wars games where you do play as a bounty hunter doing bounty hunter shit. And here you're playing as Jango Fett, who we were being like, okay, he kind of was shown to be kind of badass in episode 2, but then also Mace Windu cut his fucking head off, so how badass can he really be? And then, of course, Boba Fett, shown being kind of badass, capturing Han Solo and then getting fucking thrown in the Sarlacc pit. I mean, we have had other kind of media to show them being badass here, but Bounty Hunter was that one where you could play as that badass, and I think it nails it on that. At least for the time period and the game design choices that they had for that. You're going around being a blasty blast shooty shoot motherfucker. Trying to go after a Jedi bounty and getting other bounties in as well. It's like, cool. So, I gotta hand it to him for being like, hey, we didn't have a lot of this, and I'd like to actually see more of this. The biggest kind of thing is, like, Lucasfilms, of course, hasn't really had much in the way of their plans for their movies or their TV shows. So it's like, alright. And that really is also carried over to their games. They got this big franchise. It's like, what do we do with it? And Marvel, at least until we hit phase 4, and they're like, let's just fucking shotgun this shit. It's like, no, focus back. 4, come on, man. So we'll see how that kind of works out there. But you need that kind of focus. Cause it's like, okay, this is what we kind of want to do with these games. Explore different kind of aspects. I know we had Star Wars Outlaws, and I heard at least different, decent kind of stuff of it being a kind of different kind of game of, okay, you're not just completely a Jedi. Trust me, I like the Jedi ones. I like exploring the Force and the lightsabers and the Force powers. It doesn't need to be everything that that doesn't need to be the default thing for Star Wars games. I mean, you got your MMOs, you got your first-person shooters, you've got third-person shooters, you've got RTS games, all that kind of stuff. Go off for different kind of genres. Racing, fighting, even though there's kind of weird ones. But if you're into kind of Jango Fett and everything like that, and the kind of wanted to see what goes on with bounty hunters, I would definitely recommend checking this out. But have your caveats of understanding how this game is done. Because I could definitely see people being like, oh yeah, and then it's like, this is frustrating with how this is designed. Yes. Trust, like, a good thing that I've learned about with my reviews is that even though I like something, I have to talk about what goes wrong with it. And this still has game design, gameplay issues. You have to play it in certain kind of ways, and with a certain kind of mindset, and if you don't have that, that's fine. And you hate this fucking thing, don't play it. If you don't have fun with it, don't do it. Don't play it. Like, if you play it a little, like, your best bet would be, if you're doing this at least through Steam, play it for under 2 hours, see if you jive with it, and if it doesn't, you're good. Actually, you could get through probably a couple kind of levels at that kind of bit, depending upon how long you die or whatnot, because some of the times it took me 18 minutes to get through a level, even with a couple of continues thrown in there. But it's, if anything, you would mainly be fighting the game design choices more than actually the technical kind of aspects, kind of like a la Deadly Premonition, where it's like, these are not done well. Though there are certain aspects where the camera tries to fuck your ass over, so that's another kind of thing. Kind of similar with the Baldur's Gate, of the camera is not your friend. Though, I had more kind of camera issues in this game than in Baldur's Gate. That one would just be like, I'm attempting to do this, please do this, and then here, I'm like in a little kind of thing, I'm like, I'm stuck, where the fuck am I? Like in a little crouched kind of position. Where the fuck am I? How the fuck do I get out of here? And where do I get to the objective? Shit, fuck titties. So, watch out for that. If you're a Star Wars fan, I think you'd have a good time with this. Definitely if you're kind of Django or looking into some kind of Mandalorian one, sure. If you're a prequel fan, definitely kind of interesting, kind of fleshing out. I don't know the complete and utter canon status of it though, so enjoy it for what it is and what story it kind of tells for the time era that it was in there. So, plot and character, it definitely fleshes out stuff with Django and the world and everything like that, and giving us kind of more of an underground feel and everything. So, yeah. It's not, like, completely earth-shattering or anything, but it does it and executes it well enough, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'd still kind of recommend this just to have a different kind of turn of events for games for someone to play. So those are my opinions on the game. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.